Hi guys, Dan here from Canada Abroad, and thanks so much for tuning in. Today we are bringing you the latest Express Entry draw results for June 8th, 2022. Now, as we know, we are expecting federal skilled worker draws to resume in July, so that's not very far away. So if you want to know a little bit more about what you can expect when those draws resume, then you can just click the link above. We did a video sort of discussing what you can expect going forward. So as we know, this is definitely not a federal skilled worker draw. The draw that they did for today was just for provincial nominees. So you had to be in the Express Entry system with a valid profile and a provincial nomination linked to your Express Entry profile. What some people forget sometimes is not every provincial nomination is for Express Entry. Some people get provincial nominations and they actually have to submit what we used to call a paper-based application because it's not linked to Express Entry. So if you are looking at provincial programs, just check if you are looking at and submitting applications to Express Entry linked provincial programs or non-Express Entry linked provincial programs, because the processing of the permanent residency is going to vary quite a bit between the two. So with this draw, they handed out a total of 932 invitations to apply. And you had to have a comprehensive ranking system score of 796 or higher. And the tie-breaking rule for this draw was October 10th, 2021. So if we look at the number of people who are in the pool as of the time of the draw, or basically the day before the draw happened, they gave us the stats on that. There was 922 people in the system who had a provincial nomination. So since they picked 932 people, it's safe to assume those were all of the people in the Express Entry system who had provincial nominations. So basically they cleared out the system. It looks like everybody who had a nomination got picked and is going to get to submit their application. So this is, another good sign. We're seeing them clean out the provincial nominees before they go back to picking other categories again. But if we want to take a look at how many people are sitting in the pool now waiting to be selected, and this is people who do not have provincial nominations. So if we look at the numbers right now and we look at people who don't have provincial nominations, the bracket that we see is there's people between 501 and 600. So they don't break it up any further for us. We just know that these people are between the 501 and 600 mark. There's 7,637 people in that bracket alone. So it's going to take at least 2 draws to clear those people out, unless they do some kind of a massive draw to kick things off in July. But I think they're probably going to avoid that approach because they just are on track to clear out the backlog that they have. If they dump a bunch of people submitting permanent residency applications onto the workers, they're going to have a backlog again. So they're going to want a steady flow, probably, 3,000 to 4,000 people per draw like they used to have before the pandemic, so they could keep those 6-month processing times in line. If they do keep to that, then we're probably going to see it take about 2 draws before it's going to dip below 500. And then if we look further than that, if we look at the number of people between 491 and 500 points right now, there are 4,011 people. So, if we want to go even further, it's probably going to take 3 to 4 draws before we would even see it go below 490. So, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening in the next few months. We also have to wait and see if they are going to start implementing those draws that are for specific NOC codes. The bill has, passed another stage. It hasn't been finalized yet, so it's not being implemented yet, but it has passed one more hurdle. And this bill is basically to implement measures outlined in last year's proposed budget. So this would allow the Minister of Immigration to set out ministerial instructions to say, okay, in today's Express Entry draw, I'm only going to target these 5 NOC codes. And then only people with those NOC codes on their profile could even be considered in that draw. So there's a few other things. They can target people just based on language. So maybe you have to be bilingual or have a certain French level. There's these things that are also going to be coming into play later in the year. And then of course, the new NOC codes are going to be implemented in November of this year. So a lot of things are going to be going on with Express Entry for the rest of 2022, but it looks like it's probably going to take 3 to 4 draws before we could see scores drop below 490, just to give you an estimate on what to expect going forward. So thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Canadian immigration news and updates.